So lesson 4, Google Calendar and Photos. So in this one, we're going to be going over your Google Calendar. So basically, in order to access your Google Calendar, you have to log into your Google, click on the apps on the top right-hand corner, and then we'll just go ahead and go to Calendar. So your calendar layout, you have your day at the very top left. So that's going to be up here. The current month that you're in. So this was April of 21. Different calendars that you have selected. So you might have different calendars that, get created. And then on the top right, you're able to change your view. So if I log into my Google Calendar, so here I'm on today. That's what. So here I have my calendar view, the month I'm in, the days of the month, and then over here on the left, I have my different calendars. So right now, if there was birthdays or things from the family that's shared with my family, any tasks that I might have, and then I have the holidays in the United States. So as you can see up here, I have Labor Day. If I was to uncheck the holidays, that'll go away because I'm not showing that anymore. If I check it back on, of course, all those holidays would come back up. So here you're able just to do your calendar. So if you wanted to create a calendar entry for something, you could click on create. You would add a title, pick the date and time, add any guest. You can add a location, and then you will type in the description of what that is. So as you can see on my calendar, you can tell for Friday I have a haircut. On Monday, my son had a haircut. So, if I wanted to create these in here, I could go create event, task, or an appointment on my schedule. So I can say, no, it's an event. Once a title, so school, and this is going to be sure Thursday from 6 to 7. I could say it could be all day. So that means, all day, especially if it goes out multiple days. Maybe, this is until Friday. So now it will blank out that whole row for me. I could say, does this repeat? How often? Weekly on Tuesdays, daily, monthly on the 3rd. So however you want this to repeat. Is there anybody I want to include on here? So I could type in their email addresses and have that include so they will be sent the invite. Here I can add Google Meet. So if I wanted to set up a conference, a video conference with somebody at that certain time, I could just say add a Google Meet, and that would automatically create my Google Meet for me. And since I'm using a free version, it says I'm limited up to 100 guest connections. And then maybe I could say I want this to be at, Alamosa Park. So that's the location, but if you can't make it there, we're going to have a Google Meet for you. We can add a description going over Google. And then I can go ahead and save that. So that will create an event, send it out to me, add the Google Meet, and puts a location of where I should meet at. So that's how you would go through and create you an event for somebody. to maybe it's a reminder, maybe it's just something for you, you're going on vacation, whatever the case might be. You could share that with your spouse and say, hey, no, don't forget we have our friend's wedding this weekend coming up, or this school event's going on. You're able to create these events in here and share it across with other people. So Google Meet, meeting, click on add Google Meet. The Meet address shows up and it adds information, and then you could use it to do web conferences. So, I mean, that's what I was kind of talking about. It's kind of like a Zoom conference that we're on right now, but instead of through Zoom, it's through Google's platform. So they have their own little platform for meetings. So you're able to set up out of offices also. So you can pick the date and time frame for your out of office. Pick if you would like to decline the meetings. You can modify the message and pick if it is a public or a private out of office. So, say you're going on vacation and you don't want people to bother you, or you just want to let them know that you're going to be out of the office for a while. So, you could go to the date, and that's the other thing I forgot to show you is when you're creating it, you don't have to create it from here. Maybe you're browsing through and you say, oh, October 31st on Halloween. You could click right in the box and it will give you the pop-up to go ahead and do that. But if I wanted to create this as an out of office, while I'm in my meeting, I could go to more options here. So here I have this that pops up, just a little bit bigger screen of me creating my meeting. And down here is my availability. And I could say I'm going to be busy. And I could say either this is for public or for the private. So if I say, no, what, I want it private, no one else could see this. If I say public, I could say anyone could see this, that I'm going to be busy at that time frame. So, and then the other thing that's nice is if you're adding multiple people, you could say, exactly what time, and you could see if the other people are available or not, if they give you access to their calendar. And then they have these kind of little hints over here, location, notification. Do you want to be notified? How soon do you want to be notified that you're, going to have this meeting? I usually like to do mine usually a day before, and then I add another one, and then if it's far out, I would do another week. So that way I get notified the week before, and then I get notified the day before. Especially if I need to do shopping or if I need to go do something, I have that extra time built in where it just doesn't sneak up on you and it's the next day and you're like, oh, I forgot to get this, or oh, I didn't get a gift for the wedding. Whatever the case might be, that's why I go ahead and make that time frame. Any questions on any of that?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Like when you say, and when you were scheduling like this out of office, you say it can be private or public.
Yes.
When you say, I just not clear about that. That would be that everybody can see if it is public. That means when it is a network in the company, or
So
who can
public,
see?
yes. Anybody can see it.
Okay, like in like in the company network.
Correct.
Okay, I mean, it's I just said my appointment here is just for me in my personal thing, just
So you
myself,
will say
right?
private. Yep. I always, if you just want to be yourself, just always set it to private.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So creating tasks and reminders. You create a basic task that must get done. Type in the description. You can pick a task list for it to add to, and how often do you want to get reminded. So If I get out of that, discard my changes, I can go back to create, and this time instead of an appointment, I can say it's a task. Now, a task is a little bit different than an event or anything like that because a task is just something that you maybe do one time. So you could say, pick up food for dinner. It's going to be a task. It's going to happen today or, October 1st, because that's where I'm at right now. I could say maybe every Wednesday I have to pick up, dinner. So I can create that daily task for every Wednesday, and I can add that a description, pick different food each week, and I could save it. So now it would have me a task to do, and when I save this for the task, it will pop up, and then I can say, you know what? I completed it for that day. So unlike an event or an appointment, it just pops up on your calendar. There is no completion to it. It just falls off once you're done. But for a task, I will say, you know what? This is complete. So it gets grayed out. It means that I have done it for the day. Same thing, if I want to delete it, I can right click on it and say delete. And now says this is a repeating task. Do you want to repeat or delete just this one, this and the following task? Or do I want to delete all the tasks? So since I created it for a long time, I say all my tasks. That way I don't have to worry about it being on my calendar.
What did the all list say at the bottom? Choice list.
So I have different lists, and basically it will add it to the list of things that I have to get done for that day. So, if I have multiple tasks that I need to get done, I have a list of items. Where is my list? Come on. Where did they move that to now? Bear with me. So there's my task. So these are my task list. And then this would be my list of where I can add, where I would have my different tasks of things I have to complete. So that's my list. So if I have multiple things, pick up dinner, go grocery shopping, those would just all be in the list of things I have to do. So if you have a lot of stuff to do every day, you create this list, pack lunch, pick up dinner, pick up dry cleanings, all those things would just be different tasks that would be listed in here on your list, and you would just mark them as complete as you got through them. Does that make sense?
A little bit. When you created the task at the very bottom, when you marked it completed, at the bottom it said choice list, it had the little arrow button. So that's how I was wondering how that would come into play.
Yep. So like if I was in here and I created my task.
Yeah, see at the bottom right there, it says choice
Yep.
list.
So I say pick up dinner, save. I have a task over here in my list. So I can have multiple different lists.
Oh, okay, got it.
So then if I, created another task on.
Could you share that list like how you have choice list? If another family member, say your wife, had Ellie's list, could you go into her list if you share it with each other and see what she's crossed off and what she hasn't? That
So
like
yes.
as far as like picking up kids from sports or
So you would have to be sharing with each other. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody I'm shared with in here.
how would you share?
But you could share it with somebody.
How?
So if I go to my task and I can create, oh, not there. Where are you at? I don't want to sort it.
Or if you had a coworker and you were working on a project and things were due that day, you could share your list and then see who did what by marking them off.
Hmm. They get rid of that? I guess you can't anymore. So I guess you have to do it through Google Docs.
Oh, that's a bummer.
They got rid of it. Oh, that makes sense. They bought Monday. I don't know if you ever heard of Monday.
No, but that must be a shared calendar of some type.
So it's like a project management where you could do your task management, client projects, and all that other stuff.
Oh, okay. Project
So you could do your team planning and everything else. So
management.
they bought out Monday, which kind of, I guess they felt like, they had a better platform. So they decided to probably just move it over to here to make you have to buy this product.
Okay.
They're good at doing things like that.
All right.
Oh, I bought this, so now I can't do what I used to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
No problem. Okay. So reminder is just basically the same thing as a task. It's just a reminder of, that you need to go do something. Um, really don't need a description. It's just, I create a reminder to go pick up the kids. So Google Photos, my favorite app, because I feel like everyone should be backing up their photos somewhere. I don't care if it's to OneDrive, Google, somewhere, you should be having all your photos backed up. Google Photos to me is a lifesaver. And, it's a product that people should be utilizing when it comes to Google. One of the free products that you should be using that Google gives. So Google Photos layout, so you have your photos, your, Explorer, you can see all your photos, you can share your photos, and then you're able to print your photos from Google. So if you are sharing photos with others, photos that are others have shared with you, the print store, you can create your photo books or photo prints, and then you have to set up a Google account for payment in order for people to pay for those photos. You can create albums like a photo book. Click on create, select which photos you would like to add, give it a name. And then, of course, your utilities. You can create movies, create a collage, move photos in and out of a library, or you can add a partner, which is someone you will share all your photos with. So let's dive into one of my favorite products. Uh, do, 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 do. No, wrong account.
Teacher Troy,
Yes.
you can transfer your picture from your phone to the Google Photos, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So you would have to have Google Photos, the app installed on your phone.
Okay.
What is my code? 57. Okay. So this is kind of your layout when it comes to Google Photos. So here you can search for your pictures. So here is a piece of my broken fence at my house from a while ago. So you could go through your photos. You can have your different albums. So like here, I have an album called Home, which is just a picture, single picture. I have another album called Gate. So I could, starting off, will be the first thing is trying to get a photo there. So if I'm working on my computer, I would use the little plus, and I would say import photos. Sure. Don't know what these pictures are, but they're of my son. Okay. Some older pictures of my son. So I went ahead and uploaded some just random pictures I had on my PC. As you could tell, it tells me the dates that they were taken. So, back in 2022. So I can click on the picture. There he is over there. So when I'm inside this picture, I have a couple of different options. I could share it with somebody. So just like you were doing with your Google Docs, you're able to share it. I could share it directly with my school account. Here is a picture. I can hit send. And now I could see where I can have a conversation. So if I go to my school account, here it tells me that I shared a photo with myself. So I'm able to go back. Now say maybe this is a picture that, you want it to print or something. So you could tell it to order a photo print. Come on. And here you're able to, just select your picture. So here it's telling me available for delivery or in-store pickup. It's 18 cents per print. I could say what size I would like for it to print at. Let's say I want an 8x10. I could say next. And here it's going to say this is how much it's going to cost if I decide to ship it or if I want to do store pickup. And then I would just have to go through and enter in my information.
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
can you print or send it to your personal printer?
So you can. So you could download it. So, these are your pictures. So you're able to just download it like you uploaded it. So I could go and say download, and then I could download it back to my computer and I could print it at my home computer. But maybe you have your parents or something that you wanted to send a picture off to. That is where this would come into handy, where you will be able to send it that way.
That helps. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So also with that, I would go and say, you know what, I have these. So maybe I have more than one picture and I want to create a new album. So I would go create album. And then I would add the photos that I want in there and say done. So now instead of having just, a single picture, I could share the whole album with somebody. So now they just won't see that single picture. They will have the full album of all those pictures. And then that way, you're sharing it to your parents, your kids, whatever the case might be. They have access to all those pictures that you have uploaded. So once you have done that, of course, you can go back to your library view. We went over the print store. This is where you can order your different things, photo books, photo prints, canvases, whatever you would like to order from Google. And like I said, they will mail it out to you. Of course, like I said, this is your photo albums that you're able to upload. And then, of course, adding your photos, you can upload them however you like, import them. So maybe you had them on your computer. Maybe you have some in Google Drive that you want to upload. So you're able to upload it that way. So you have your multiple different ways that you're able to upload your pictures. Of course, one of the biggest things to always pay attention to is down here. How much storage are you using? And then if you need to, you can always upgrade. Any questions on photos?
Just out of curiosity, how much is it to upgrade?
So
Is it like in the 20s, 30s? Like,
it's pretty cheap. So $2 a month to go to 100 gigs.
and how do they charge you? Like, how
Just
do
to
you,
your credit card.
okay, and then also with the photos, it says send it to a store. Which store do they send them to?
I don't know. I never really did send to a store. Um,
I mean, is it through like Shutterfly or one of those companies, or is it all through Google?
it's all through Google, but I'm pretty sure they probably source with somebody for the store.
Okay.
Hi, teacher. I just wonder if all my pictures of my phone can be back up in Google, even if they
If
are
you have,
or even
you
they
would
are
have to make sure you have enough storage.
even if they are saved in iCloud.
Yeah, so as long as they're saved on your phone, the Google Photos, as long as you access or as long as you allow access to all your photos on your phone to the Google app, it will upload all of that to Google Photos.
And in case they don't appear, all of them they don't appear in my email is because my Gmail is full.
It is probably full.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you, teacher.
So to answer your question, it looks like they do CVS, Walmart, Walgreens.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, I guess this is your time to go ahead and play around with it and see if you have questions. I do want to make a note next week. I will probably be about 30 minutes late. I might say 45. I will be on a flight, but I will be here before 6:30. I am flying back into town, so I will be a little bit late.
Okay, teacher, don't worry.
Thank you for letting
teacher.
us know.
Thank you for
No
the update.
problem. All right.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes.
In calendar, when you have to schedule a meeting and invite other people in meetings because this comes up at work, how do you do that with like the time slot?
So
Like if I were to schedule an IEP for an administrator and the school psych and have to put that together.
So let me get out of here.
Like a scenario, if I were like the secretary and I had to go in and they said, okay, I'm available at this time.
Um,
And then coordinate with the parent, the school site, and then send out the invite form.
if I go to my calendar, oh, come on, I want the full calendar. And say I want a meeting for the 17th. I will go to more options. So I get the BIC layout. Test meeting. Won't be all day. Now this is where I will say, oh, where are you at?
I think like you would use find a time, correct? And you would include the
Correct.
people to make sure that all their schedules are open at that time.
So I just added you in,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll add my principal. So now I can go find the time.
So you go meeting and then add people and find time. And then that's when, if you're already busy and it's blocked off, it won't allow you to book you, correct?
Correct. So as you could tell here, somebody is booked at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Don't know who, because I don't have permission to see their calendars, but I can tell you that that person's busy and it won't allow me to book that slot. Well, I could, but it's a possibility of a conflict.
Okay.
So that's where you would do find the time after you add in your guest. Of course, that the teacher won't be able to see their parents' calendar, but you will be able to see everybody else's.
How do you, when they schedule me for a meeting, I'm not sharing my calendar with them. How do they see when I'm available? They don't, they just book me for it?
They could send a request. So like in there, I was able to send a request to view your calendar.
I've never seen that before.
So back in here. So if I say you, it's telling me calendar cannot be shown.
Okay.
So if I was to click on it, I could say send you an email and I can request your calendar.
Google Docs. For example, Google Docs, I can away teacher.
And that's how I request your calendar.
Is that on my calendar? It shows up in my email.
It'll come to your email saying this person is trying to access your calendar. That's if the school allows me to go to a different district. Well, not different district, but a different site. Like I can request somebody like another teacher's calendar at my school. I don't know if I'm able to request a calendar somewhere else.
Okay. I guess it's all within the site, everything.
Correct, on how they set it up.
I'm just wondering at work who has access to my calendar.
Mainly it should just be your manager.
They can see everything on my calendar. With
Correct, unless you mark it private.
And where do you mark it private?
So when you create those events,
Email from
down here,
how can I send to Gmail?
so where it says visibility,
Gmail.
you go to private.
Google Docs.
Open it.
For example,
Hold on one second.
for a teacher through Google Docs.
Okay. So yeah, so you would just mark it private.
Any event, I can mark it private, and then that'll make
Yes.
the whole calendar private to anyone.
Well, just that event, not the whole calendar, but that event.
How do you mark the whole calendar private?
You can't.
Oh.
You have to do it per event.
Huh. Okay.
You know, if you want your calendar to be private, you would probably just be better off using like a personal Gmail.
Right, right. I was just curious at work who sees what and what department.
No, yeah, you would have to do each event.
Okay.
That means that when you have an event public, the other people can just see that event, right? Not my whole calendar, or they can see my whole calendar.
They can see
Well,
every calendar.
they
it
can
sounds-
see everything if it's not private.
So if you add tasks or whoever has access in the school district, as far as your admin or your school secretary or whoever, they could see what you have going on every day in